Okay, this has been a while coming. I made this account on 8/20, where's my thing? I made this account on 8/23 of 2023. It is now December 15th. We're getting close to 4 months. I have the all stages clear, which is nice. Um, that just means normal mode of all the chapters. Challenge mode, I stopped at chapter 7. I did the 8 stages for chapter 7. I did some on chapter 8, but I never completed it. I did the challenge modes for chapter 12 because chapter 12 went out, and then I got distracted by going through all the side stories because they were unlocked. So that's fine. Side story wise, I have cleared all the side stories. This event came out at the time. EX8 was kicking my ass. I did eventually clear it, but it took all my time, so I didn't have enough time to do CWS4, which is kind of a blemon, but whatever. There are other sources of. I got enough currency to clear the shop, and it's just the metal set that I missed, which I already missed for other reasons, but it's fine. I did all of these. I haven't done this one, this one. I'm working on this one and this one. This one was live when I start during the period, so I did it then. Um, base wise, running the 243. Haven't gotten any of the combos really going yet. We're making a good 45,000 a day. Same with the medals, and about 30,000 XP tickets. The base, I've upgraded everything except 2 dorm rooms. These are level 4. Everything else is level 5 and done. The dorms take a surprising amount of bricks, and it's probably a waste, but I'm getting it done. As whenever the friend credit store gives me bricks, I take them and we upgrade the store. Otherwise, we're just getting it from the daily. We'll get it whenever we get it. Unit wise, I have raised these units, and I've also raised the lower rarity to some degree, but whatever. Uh, advice wise, E1 3040 is not a big deal. Okay, at least at an advanced base stage, it won't be a big. It'll be like 3 days of base income to get a 3-star up to 55. 2 days to get it up to like 30, 40. So if you have units that will help you at E140, like your 4 stars and whatever, don't hesitate to burn the resources to get them up to E140. Units here. Yeah, I got her from the Colonel banner. Those occur every 3 months. I would recommend saving some yellow certs for it and just buying the good units from the shop that you need. Shamir, I got a random senior operator tag and she came home, and I like her, so I raised her. I haven't had a lot of use out of her yet because I haven't M3'd her skill yet because other things are going on. Haven't needed her to clear the content, which I was trying to get rushed through. Blaze, the first Colonel banner, I decided to test it out and pull on it. I bought the 38 pulls for 214 yellow or whatever they cost, and I got Blaze on 34 pulls, uh, which is good because I would have paid 180 for Blaze if she was in the shop, but it's bad because looking at the odds, that was unlikely, and I won out from the odds. Expected odds, this was a bad idea. Blemishine, there was a Mylnar Blemishine Blanner. I pulled on it until I got a 6-star and I got Blemishine, so I got her. Would have preferred Mylnar, but she's still good. Mudrock, there was a Mudrock Mountain Banner. I pulled on that, and I got Mudrock instead of Mountain, so I got that. I would have bought Mountain, I would have bought Mudrock, I would have bought Blemishine, maybe instead of Aya. Probably not, because I really needed the arts damage, so I was looking forward to her. But yeah. Otherwise, you see a standard banner where there are 2 operators that would really help your team. You should probably pull on it. You shouldn't save pulls for a future banner. Archetto, she was an off rate on either the Kubai or Yato Altar banner early on, so I raised her. I think I got her on the Yato Altar banner, where I got Yato Altar. Lumen's a free charity unit. I raised him because he's decent, and he's a single target medic, basically, with a wide range. He's got other functions and whatever, but that's why I raised him. Texas and Myrtle are probably all the vanguards you need. I got Muesli and Inez also as vanguards, but they're not function for vanguards. Well, maybe Muesli is. Bybeak I raised for crowd control. I'm not good enough to use her, so I would say that's a failure. Philopsis and Perfumer, great AoE medics. They're the only medics I have ME2 right now, I think. Oh, and Lumen, obviously. Um, I find AoE medics work a lot better normally because normally if you're having trouble with damage because it's hitting multiple sources. Pudding was my first D2. I used her a lot. She was my high ground arts damage. She got me through Annihilation 3. She got me through other content. Cora, I raised for Core Defender to have raised. I think having a module 15% damage reduction on a healing defender is probably more useful in most situations, but I do have her raised. She's got good defense. She's got a module. She was not very expensive to raise, and she may have saved my ass sometimes. I don't know. Inez, she is. I got her on her banner. I think I got her first thing on her banner, so I didn't get anything else. Don't regret pulling her. She does a lot of assassination. Um, I I don't know what to say. She keeps she's the vanguard, so she makes it easy for part of the round easy if they're throwing dogs at you. Otherwise, she's hard to find a use for. Muesli has two uses. One, you feed her Mudrock, and she's block 3 with good stats early on that generates DP. Alternatively, you feed her Archetto, and she has if you have the terrain for it, now she's a 5 unit with bind that you can shoot to basically waste the entire early wave. Both are useful depending on the map. You can switch between them two on the map, which is nice, but usually it's just one and then forget about it and just have her generate DP. Kubai is my ground arts damage. She has range level Lord Guard, therefore she can hit things that Surtur can hit. So a lot of the times where Surtur is called for, I can make do with Kubai. She does not have Surtur's immortality or damage really, and whatever, but she doesn't kill herself, and she can hit air. She's not a bad unit. Silver Ash is Silver Ash. He used to be good. He's still good, but he's not on there good. Fartooth I raised. I have found uses for her, but for the resource cost, probably a waste of resources, but she did make a few things easier that would have been hard. Stainless, I've been using as a range extender. I got him on his band. I got him on the Stainless Horn Salish banner. I got Fartooth on a off banner on something. I'd have to look it up. Emmy is a character you start with. You get the guard form in chapter 8, which I did all stages clear, therefore I have it. Estina, I got on an early pull and I raised her for high ground arts damage. She actually does work. Of course, Ada is better. Myrtle you get for Vanguard or DP generation plus healing and recruitment. Also doing pulls, you probably get her. Other stuff doesn't matter. I have recently picked up Saga and Golden Glow from the Joint Operation banner. I got Saria from the second Colonel banner. I set Saria in Asia, and I got Saria for the pulls in Bot Asia. Unectes, I got an off banner early on, and I've never raised her, and I don't really intend to raise her because of her situation is basically you got two types of units. You've got core operators that are used in every guide in low rarity, which you can just sub a higher rarity for usually, and increase the rarity of your vanguard so you have the DP to manage that. And then you can just use XSI instead of like Cruise, and then you'll just have an easier time. And then or you could use Sorry instead of Gummy and just have an easier time. And then you have units like Unectes, which have their own niche role, which doesn't really fit into a guide. They cost too much, and they're just not worth figuring out. Unectes and Midgallon, I think, are the only two 6 stars that I can think of offhand that are like totally like that. I mean, no one uses Ack either, but he's obvious to use, so you can use him or not. Stainless, again, same issue. Fartooth would be probably a similar issue. Usually, she's like a 12 DP cost unit that summons a pretty good stack 3 block. You can use that in a lot of guides as a substitute defender. That's probably fine. But Unectes and Fartooth and Ack really don't have and Silence really don't have a use in guides, and therefore it's hard to figure out how to slot them. So I haven't gotten around to resourcing them. Saga I picked up again. I've got Texas. I got 4 Vanguards already raised. DP's not an issue. Early game's not an issue. Therefore, Saga's probably not going to get raised for a while, if ever. Definitely not until I clear all the content. Sorry I picked up. That's a great pickup. I haven't raised her because I have Blemishine already raised. But I'm going to get the resources and chips for Sorry and Nightingale, raise them together. Golden Glow, Exercise. Again, I've got our Shadow. I've got Asia. So these aren't as urgent, but I really wanted them because they are good. Ifrit was a random top operator, as was Ack and Nightingale. These 4 hitters were top operators. It gave me 4 top operators in the last month. Just, I don't know what to say about that, but that's why they're not raised. They were all given to me at the same time. Spent resources and got all this stuff. It's a lot of nice stuff. I plan on raising Sorry and Nightingale, and then Golden Glow, Ifrit, and Exercise. And then after that, I guess Ack. But they aren't raised yet, and they're not needed to be raised at this point to clear everything I'm on. So talking to people, there are a couple things that new people need to know. You got recruiting. You want to definitely get your guaranteed 4-star tags memorized. You also want to know so you don't miss them, the 5-star tags. There's a lot of yellow certs and the green's currency for that, which makes your account run. Pull wise, you get a banner like this. It's got 75% good units you don't have. Definitely want to pull on it and get at least one of these guys. Good odds to waste your pulls on. Don't save for something else. This is a standard banner. You get them every 2 weeks. This one's Mizuki and Penance. Penance is a good unit. Mizuki, you can count him as grounds, arch damage, and crowd control, but his he's harder to justify, so I haven't pulled on it. Yeah, I'd rather wait for Executor Alter or something and pull on that instead for 50% Executor Alter than one of these two. That's the Colonel banner. You get them every three months, apparently, 4 times a year. You get to you get them every 2 weeks, but you get to set them. You can put a shop operator. You can put a whatever. These were the listed items. I think Aya, Saria, Blaze, um, Exercise, maybe Nightingale, maybe Hoshiguma are worth the 180. So I would just save 180 to have every 3 months to pick up a new unit, depending on where you're having trouble with content. 4 stars, Philopsis, Texas you get from the pin board, so I wouldn't worry about that. I also got a lot of crowd control Vanguard tags, so she's at pot 5 after 4 months, so there's that. Lapland is not in recruitment, so I picked her up. Spectre, the archers, the snipers, the marksman snipers like Blue Poison, Platinum, and Greythroat, they're good, but again, Exercise is better, Archetto is better. Blue Poison does have her uses, but that's I'm not going to worry about it. The fast redeploys and everything else has kind of been overcrept by new things. Um, Shamare is good. I picked her up. There are 5-star tags for Shamare. She shares them with like Praminix and stuff. Uh, I got her from a senior operator tag, and so I was like, oh, I got your Shamare, so I have to worry about getting her. So right now, all I really want is Warfare and Inspector. But I'm not pulling on this. I'm just gonna wait until a selector or whatever, and just get them there. But yeah, I would just recommend Shamare, uh, Lapland, Philopsis, uh, Neural. I think you can normally get away with Saria for. I'd just rather the 180 for Saria than 45 for Neural. It's that much. Um, Spectre and Warford should be here. I just don't see her. They're Warford. Yeah. So yeah. So again, I wouldn't pull on this. I did pull on this, and I got Blaze and Saria in 36 pulse, which was better than what I got from buying on this. But statistically speaking, since you don't get any extra currency, no greens, no yellows, all you get is this blue stuff. You're better off just buying Aya for 180 and then getting Saria 3 months later for 180 instead of paying and hoping for good luck. As I said, I got 4 top operator tags last month because I have good luck. Statistically speaking, by most boards, the odds of a top operator tag is 1 in 500. And I've done about 500 recruitments, and I got them all in the last month. I got 4 of them. Team wise, there are a few maps that I think I'll need Saria for, a few maps I think Naga for, Golden Glow for. I think it will just make things easier to have a Freet and exercise. These 5 here, good units to raise. I will get to it. Um, I just spent all my LMD and XP on Aya. I was at nothing, and now I'm up to this much after the current event. Pinch Out gave me some money, and I will spend some on Aya's module. And then I'll start working on Saria and Nightingale and Golden Glow and Exercise and Defreet. But be clear about pull strategies. I see people wanting to save for future ops. If a banner like this with Mudrock, Mountain, and Golden Glow, I wouldn't save for future ops if you don't have these ops. You got a banner like this, 5 stars in Mizuki, and it's only just penance. I would definitely skip and save for a better banner. Get a banner you craft yourself. I would pull in another banner and use the currency that you get from that banner to buy this one, the 2 shop operators you put in that were needed. You get a 5-star selector when you start the game. You also get a 5-star selector every anniversary, which is in January. So if you start now, you will get 2 5-star selectors pretty soon. The 4 ones is just Silence, Project Red. I think Liscarm and Feminix. You can make an argument for any of those. I think if Lumen was in Record Restore, I would just go Lumen and get probably Liscarm or something instead of Silence. But since Silence is a decent single target medic, you might want to go with Silence and then take Lapland from the other selector. I personally took Philopsis from the first selector, and she has come in useful. But that's because I got Kubai and Silver Ash, so I didn't need any Lord Guards. It matters what you get. Most of what you get is useful. You could make do with your 4 stars. If you make do with your 4 stars, you'll be going through a lot of aggravation. But 4 stars do get a module, so you can promote them for about the cost of a 5-star to get stats that are Not that much worse than a 5-star. Do I have a case-by-case comparison I could use? Not on this account. I have to go to my main account to go point out the differences. But when you take a 4-star and you start adding on a module, its cost goes up because you're paying the LMD for the module, so it's more or less the same cost as raising a 5-star without a module. Modules level 1 can be very useful, and sometimes the level 2 and 3 are useful, mainly the level 2 if you're going to get them as enough of an upgrade. The level 3 is just a massive waste of resources. You can still do that later on because, you're rich and you got to put your resources somewhere and you can only deploy 12 ops. Normally I was going E230, and then I started kicking up to E260 when I was starting thinking about modules. E250 for the 5-stars, E240 for the 4-stars. This is just to save resources. We get the modules out and hope for the best. Some of these moves I made were something of a waste. I could probably consider Bybeak a waste. I raised these people and I found uses for them. Probably not a waste, but they weren't as useful as I wanted them to be, but they definitely helped in certain situations. They were enough for situations. Everything else I raised that I've already raised has gotten me through everything and has not been a waste. I haven't had that much time to raise people I want to raise, but yeah. Team-wise, I would recommend Texas, Fang, and Myrtle. A marksman sniper, a backup marksman sniper cruises fine. A healing defender, which is like Gummy or Blemishine or Saria. Hung is here. I'm not recommending him for reasons. A core defender like Cora. I think Bubble's also a core defender. They're called protectors, apparently. Higher rarity is probably better, but I wouldn't go for the charity ones because charities have worse stats. Mudrock is a defender, but she's a self-sustained defender, which is better in a lot of situations because you can put her away from your line, but worse in the fact that she cannot be healed. So if you're tanking something with healing, like you're trying to sit core in front of a boss and putting like 4 medics on her, you can't do the same thing with Mudrock. Guard-wise, you want your Block 3 Centurion guards, you want your Lord guards, your Arts guards. You could theoretically think about a Reaper guard, but that's not. I didn't get to that yet because It's easy to find a Reaper guard. You can get the Lord guards pretty easily. I think Arene. I would recommend you grab Lapland if you don't have a Lord guard, but you can use Arene. Sniper wise, I'm just talking about the marksman sniper. The other types of sniper kits, if you don't get an Uber 6-star, I wouldn't bother with. Casters, I went with the chain caster for the AoE. AoE casters are not really great. And the single target casters, I think you do better off with supporters. But then you get a good single target caster or mecha core caster. You could use those. I guess Click maybe, but I didn't get around to Click because I just suffered with Pudding and Estina. Medics, very fond of Perfumer. Ansel is better than Hibiscus for the 3-stars. Not really fond of Susuru. Guys use Susuru a lot because of the burst. I would rather have a 5-star or 6-star. I waited for Lumen because he was just about to come out, so I just used Lumen. I was just gonna use Lumen. I used Ansel for most of it before then. I also got Myrrh, which was used for Annihilation 3, and I kept her at E, the same level I had for Annihilation 3, and used her a couple times afterwards, but mainly she's that level for Annihilation 3. Lungman down, down. But for the most of it, Philopsis for the burst and Perfumer for the AoE was all I really needed. And Lumen now is nice. Now I'm pretty done with Lumen. I raised Honeyberry for chapter 12 Adverse. I only got the E134 because that's what she got to before I cleared the stage. That's like 2 days worth of growth thrown into her. It's not a big deal, but it is nice to have an elemental magic raised. I would say E150. Uh, Supporters, get your slow supporters like Orchid and Estina, Padangsho, Proviso. Proviso is good in the base. The other stuff here, Stainless I raised to try them out. You probably don't have them, so I'm not really going to consider that. Chimera raised, she's good in the base. If you have Tequila and Bybeak, um, I raised her because my DPS was all physical. I was getting a lot of physical DPS. I was like, I'm just going to raise Chimera and see if that will help. And then it gave me a Golden Glow and a Freak, so that may not actually pan out. But I raised her because I wanted to stop being so physical. I wanted to get through with physical. Uh, Shifters, you get Shaw. Hopefully, we'll get Gladian Record Restore soon. We got Gravel for Stall. And this is if you get an Uber's fast redeploy, then sure, go ahead. The rest, besides the shifters and the pullers and the stall, if you get powerful 6-stars like here, Texas, Kieran, Spectre, fine. I would have raised the puller, but I'm hoping I'm getting Gladia soon, so I'd raise her instead because she's much better. The other stuff, I would just borrow Texas so you don't need anything else. You can make an argument for Jay as a lane holder, but the issue with Jay is he takes your DP, and that could be a pain in the ass. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I went through all the classes. I would recommend not holding on to pulls. I would recommend pulling on whatever and have the pity carry over. Game is generous with pulls. I am less than 4 months in. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That doesn't count. 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 26 stars. Say 16 6-stars, you're not counting the tops, just from pulls and the yellow shirt store currency. So I wouldn't hold on. I think if you have a team of 10 or so 6-stars, you can easily clear anything as long as those 6-stars are relative to the cause. Like you see a guide and they have one borrow, which you borrow, and the rest of your team is 6-stars that are upgraded from other 6-stars, you'll have no problem clearing any content. A lot of these guys are hard to follow because the timing, because their stats are not, because they're like, if you're trying to raise with a E140 4-star, you will be having a hard time if your timing is slightly off. But if you take that E140 4-star and replace it with an E160 6-star, like you replace Saria with Gummy with Saria, then the problem of the timing becomes far less severe, and you can normally manage the guide with a lower skill level. So that's why I would recommend pulling and just use the hard carry from friend support and get through everything. Eventually, you will get the units, so you will be able to do things at your skill level. That's about it. But I'm seeing people thinking about saving for an upcoming operator. and they're having trouble clearing content. If you're having trouble clearing content, pull in a banner, like a standard banner, where the 2 6 stars are going to upgrade your team. Like this banner, this is not going to upgrade my team. This banner, I got a core caster, I got a healing defender. This is going to upgrade my team. I crafted this banner, of course, but you know what I mean. I would, if I'm still using Gummy, I'm still using Click. This would upgrade my team. It'll make things a lot easier. Therefore, I would pull in this banner as opposed to waiting for a future banner. Does that make sense?